I love my job. I love doing this shit. Let me just tell you this. I am from the Southside of Chicago. Oh, we got a few Southsiders in here. Well, I'm from Inglewood. Whoa. So you hear that guy go, ooh, because he knows. Inglewood is one of the worst neighborhoods in Chicago. Now, a lot of times people say they from tough neighborhoods. My neighborhood was so tough. As children, we didn't play cops and robbers. We played robbers and thieves. Because nobody wanted to be the police. My father was a disciplinarian, tough guy, disciplinarian kind of dude. My father gave me skills I could use as a grown-ass man. When I was 5 years old, I was a bartender. My father would be like, give me this much gin and fill the rest of the glass with orange juice. And you bring it back his drink, he'd be like, woo, Lord, you sure know how to pour a stiff drink. Daddy love you. Now go upstairs and light Daddy's cigarette. It is an art to light a cigarette over a stove. You don't bend directly over the stove, because you will burn off your eyebrows out the front of your head. You got to tap that fire from the side, baby. My father told me, if you ain't gonna work and you ain't gonna go to school, then you got to get the fuck out my house. Now, at the time, I was 7. I was like, damn, I just got here. Give a brother a shot, goddamn. So I went and got the first job I could get when I no longer wanted to go to college. I was a correctional officer at the Cook County Jail on the south side of Chicago. That's what I would say every day going to work, like, shit. It's some bullshit. I should have stayed my black ass in college. This is ridiculous. The Cook County Jail is the largest single-site detention facility in the United States of America. Any given time, we have anywhere from 9,000 to 11,000 people locked up in the Cook County Jail. Now, I find that it's a lot of misconceptions about that jail. One thing that happened for me personally that was kind of fucking with my head is that I was still doing comedy at night and working in the jail at the daytime, which was weird because in the daytime, people would threaten to kill me, and at night, people want to drink with me. You know what I mean? It was just weird. But I found that y'all think that there's like a safe distance between you and murder and mayhem. Like you could walk on a little catwalk and tell guys like, stop roughhousing and shit like that. No. I was working in maximum security in a brand new division called Division 11, and they were trying some new shit called direct contact. It is exactly what the fuck it sounds like. And I didn't have a weapon. I had a black pen, a red pen, and a flashlight. Not that big ass knock a bitch out flashlight. No. They gave me that tiny where's my keys mag light. And the training was even scary. Like when they teach you how to be an officer, it was like, you're no longer black, you're no longer white, you're blue. Your family doesn't matter, we're your family. You do how we do, you walk how we walk, you eat where we eat. You are now an officer. Carry yourself accordingly. And I believe that bullshit. I went on my first living unit walking like officer walk. And I opened the door like officer opened the door. And I looked in, and I knew half the people on the tier. I was like, oh, damn! I was wondering where the fuck y'all been? And they hated that shit. They'd be like, Officer Hines, you do not need to be in there with them inmates playing cards and dominoes and shit. And I'm like, inmate, this is my cousin. He got a name. I wish that was a joke, but that did.
I was a little apprehensive, and my first day, we were still in training, and we were training on a tier. And I got to the tier with the training officer, and it was 2 people on the tier that I knew from the neighborhood.
Yes, everything in the jail is set up to make it more difficult for you. The first thing is, when inmates see you, they're gonna challenge you. It's like any other organization, you're gonna get a little hazed. The other thing is that they put you in new stuff, so everybody know you new. And about that time, it was a lot of young dudes locked up. So I'm telling dudes what to do that was my age, and some of them were older than me. And I'm telling them what to do and how to behave and all this other stuff. It was interesting. The one thing that I remembered on my first day on a tier is that there was a lady working across from me. I was supposed to watch her back while she went in and locked her doors. Then I go in, lock my doors, she watched my back. So as I'm locking my doors, one of the inmates hit me on the shoulder. And I'm like, why are you touching me? Because they had already hyped me up like, they're gonna kill you. You know what I mean? And I look over and there's nobody watching my back. When I go back into the monitor and look on the other side where the lady was, she's in there with an inmate on a couch like this, and he's sitting there with his arm around her. And they was out in there kicking it. And nothing happened. Nobody said anything. Nobody got reprimanded or nothing. Because, you know, I'm from the hood. We don't tell on each other. But I'd at least thought she'd have said something to me about it. And it just died there.
You got to keep contraband down in the jail. So you got to go in and you got to search people's cells. And cell searching is nasty ass work. You know what I mean? Like, it's really ridiculously nasty. As a new officer, I felt like the veteran officers were working too slow when they were actually working smart. I just went in there and just figured, like, if I find some on my first day, they're gonna make me captain in this bitch, right? So I go in and I'm searching all hard, sweating and shit and working hard. And the veteran officer's looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with the new guy? Is he looking for drugs or is he using them? Look how that boy's moving. Fuck you lazy bitches. I'm gonna find something. So I find a small packet of aluminum foil. Looks like a stick of Wrigley's spearmint gum. Now, usually, this has heroin in it. I know nothing about heroin, but I want to make myself look good to my supervisor, so I'm gonna say some shit I seen in a movie. This looks like Colombian Bam Bam. I don't know what the fuck that is. Seen that in a movie. So I'm gonna give him my speech, so I open up the little paper and I look in there, and it's not heroin, it's toenails. You see how you feel as I am describing this to you? I'm standing here holding somebody's goddamn toenail. What recipe calls for you to collect toenails? What type of voodoo ass shit have I walked in on? And not just collect them. He done wrapped them up and hid them like somebody wants your discarded ass fucking toenail. I was prepared for all type of shit. If it would have been a fight, I was gonna punch somebody and just run like hell. If somebody fell out, I was gonna do the chest compression part. I'm not gonna breathe in your nasty ass mouth, but I'll do this shit. But the last thing on earth I was prepared for was toenails. I was like, shit, I should have stayed my black ass in college. This shit is ridiculous, man.
Again, you know, starting out, I did have fun. I didn't have any problems because I had the personality to be able to deal with those guys. I didn't come in there with no hard head, trying to break guys down, because you do that, you put yourself in a situation, because you got to go on that tier, and you got to go in there sometimes by yourself. And if they caught you down there by yourself, you know what could happen to you. Possibly get your butt whooped and possibly get a street name after you. So you just had to play it right.
When you hold people like that, you got to give them opportunities to do shit. You got to take care of them. And one of the things you have to do is you have to give every inmate the opportunity to go to the yard. But the problem is they got way more inmates than they have yard. So they'll send you out to the yard with 100 inmates and 5 officers. And the veteran officers are standing by the door. Because if some shit break out, they pop in the door, they going in. I got my dumb new black officer ass all the way out by the fence just looking for crime and shit. Now they had told me in the training, if you have more than 3 guys in a huddle on your yard, in a group, you gotta break that up, because that's a mob, and you can't have a mob on your yard. And I look around the yard, and it's a group of 30 guys walking hard as hell. And the leader of the group was a fella named Ice Water. And Ice Water was 6 foot a million. 285,000 pounds. Mountain of a man. So I walk up to Ice Water, I was like, y'all gotta break this shit up. And he looks down at me and goes, nigga, we vice lords. We walk how we wanna fucking walk. And he walked away from me. Now, at this point, my feelings are hurt. I'm like, I'm tough too. I'm from Inglewood, so I started walking like I was in the game. He looks at me and he goes, the fuck is wrong with you? And I said, brother, I'm the police. I walk where I want to fucking walk. I thought I had laid some shit down, orange shirt, right? I thought I had did something, right? He looked at me like, you the what? Somebody hand me a knife. I'm finna stab this little ass. Now, at this point, the veteran officers are no longer standing by the door. They're in the doorway looking out like, is he dead yet? Is the shit over with? Can we clean him up? So he looking at me, I'm looking at him, and it's about to go down. I'm about to hit him in the mouth and run. And he goes, dude, you a comedian? I was like, yeah. He said, man, I saw you before I got locked up. You funny as hell. But you might not want to do this police shit no more. This shit might not be for you. Look around, ain't nobody said shit to me. You know why? Because each and every officer know I will destroy your little ass. So I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, damn, I'm getting solid advice from a triple murderer. I need to reassess my life choices. I should have stayed my black ass in college. Shit.
The first time I thought about quitting was when I was asleep at night and I woke up looking for inmates. Like I was asleep and I'm like, where my inmates at? Oh my God. And my wife was like, you at home, we ain't got no inmates. By the time I wanted to leave, the first time I wanted to quit, it was about 6 months in. The reason I didn't quit is a lot deeper. Now that I'm older, I realize why I really didn't quit, because I should have left in the beginning. I didn't quit because first I had went through a lot to get the job. There's a long process to get the job. But more than that, I'm from a working class family. And having a good job is really important in my family. And I couldn't go back to them and tell them I wanted to pursue being a stand-up. In my family, it is not acceptable. I mean, if you ain't punching a time clock or getting a weekly check, something's wrong with your life. And so I couldn't just go back to my family like, yeah, I gave up that good job, you know. Because that's what they all, you gonna mess up that good government job? My dad was motivated. He was like, so wait a minute, you talking about giving up this good government job where you get to carry a gun, beat niggas up, and carry a gun? Shit, they got any old niggas need to be beat up? You know, I swear that's how my dad get out.
My father is 86 years old. And he just stopped fighting in the street like 6 years ago. Like he came in the house with like water in his eyes, like, man, I think this fighting shit might be to pass me by. I was like, you think? And he said, well, I do have one good ass whooping left in me. You can have this bitch if you want it. My father loved that job. I would come home or come by his house after work, you know, go visit him and shit, and he'd be like, how much ass you whooped today? And I was like, we didn't fight at all today. He was like, well, what in the fuck do we pay taxes for? I tell you what, you better whoop somebody's ass tomorrow. So I have to make up shit when I go to his house like, oh man, I'm so tired. We've been fighting all day. You be all excited and shit, but go on in there and see if you can get your mama to make you a sandwich. Shit. The most dangerous thing about working in the jail was every day the same shit would happen. So just when you think it's okay, then something weird will happen and you gotta make a decision. One time, I came to work, so usually on the day when you come to work, you roll the doors, that means open all the doors, and you let the inmates out the cells and they come into the day room. Now, when they come to the day room, they come running up to you, begging you for shit, and they smell bad, funky ass breath and shit. I need some drugs. But that's like your morning cup of coffee. Everything's okay. This one day I open up the door, and I'm opening up my doors, and they don't come out. I'm like, what the fuck going on? And then they do start to come out, and they don't have on flip-flops. Nobody has on flip-flops. Everybody has on their gym shoes, and they tied up real tight. And now they standing on either side of me like the Civil War. I'm like, this is some bullshit.
Okay, again, as a cadet, Division 6, 1K and 1P. I had 1K, and I looked inside the dorm, and I noticed how quiet all the guys were. I watched and I looked how segregated they were. They got into their groups. I noticed how everybody started tying their sneakers up.
So I go, okay, fellas, today is No Crime Thursday. There will be no cracks, dents, punctures, or tears in anyone's ass today. If you feel like you gotta get it on, do it on the next shift. And that shit worked. I'm beating your ass next shift, bitch. I was like, oh, thank God for No Crime Thursday. Now I do this shit, and this shit is awesome. I get to say shit to people and talk about booties and shit, and they pay me for it.
The administration of the jail, they run it like it's a human garbage dump. They run it like people aren't human. They don't allow for any of your humanity, and the more culturally black you are, the less they like you. Like, they like you even less. The whole point of the whole thing is to be inhumane. And like little things that they would do, like they would attack you on every level of your consciousness. Little things like everybody is issued a t-shirt for the most part. Most everybody got on a t-shirt and a DOC shirt. Now the t-shirts are harder to come by, but once you have one, you don't necessarily want to put on that big denim DOC shirt. So some guys would be in the day room with a t-shirt on. So they would come in and be like, make that man put on a t-shirt. I'm like, man, I ain't fucking with him. You know what I mean? Do you understand what this dude is facing? I'm not fucking with him. Now, if you want to put on a shirt, then you go over there and tell him to put it on. But I ain't doing that dumbass shit. It was always dumb shit that they wanted me to do that I just wasn't willing to do. Like, right before I left, like I had decided, I'm finna quit this job, I'm gonna make a movie, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And so I had the old man tier. Old man tier was across from segregation. It was segregation for security purposes. Like if you had a high profile case, they put you in there. And they only put usually one person in the cell. Well, this time they had put these two guys in the cell, and I could hear somebody getting mopped. I'm like, you could hear like, I'm like, oh shit. So I walk up to the door, and at this point, I really was like, I'm finna make a movie. I can't let my glamour get fucked up. I ain't taking no face shots. So I wasn't finna go in there, but I couldn't just watch this dude get the piss beat out of him. So I opened up the door, and this guy wouldn't move. I was like, hey man, come out the cell. And he wouldn't move. And this guy runs up to him and kicks him in the back and kicks him cold out the cell. So I closed the door, and the supervisor come up and was like, hey, put handcuffs on that man. And it was the victim. And I was like, nah, I ain't finna put no handcuffs. And it was just ridiculous. Like the dude was barely standing. I'm like, there's no need to restrain him. He all right. Now the one you want to put handcuffs is that Brahma bull in that cell in there. And dude was like, well, then handcuff him. And I'm looking at him thinking, man, I ain't finna be here much longer. I ain't finna put handcuffs on nobody. And then I thought about it. I'm like, well, let's see what happens. You know, my curiosity got the better of me. And I went in there, and to my surprise, the dude just held his wrists out and let me handcuff him. And when we walking away, he was like, I wasn't mad at you. I'm mad at that nigga. You don't talk about nobody's case. This motherfucker telling people about my case. And that is a definite no-no. I didn't know what his case was. I didn't ask him because a lot of times I didn't want to know what people did. It's easy to judge. And it wasn't my job to be the judge. It was just my job to secure the building and the people in it. So I never really cared what people did. I never asked them, didn't want to know. I just wanted to keep everything solid.
It's like several bachelorette parties here, huh? Well, ladies, I'm your stripper for the evening. My name is Cholesterol. On the main stage is Cholesterol. Married people, where you at? Married people? Now, when I asked that question, all the women went, woo! And the guys was like, yeah. I'm in this bullshit. Well, I just want you ladies to understand, this is not the Oprah Winfrey Show. You don't just yell shit up at me like this The Price is Right or some bull. $4.75! No. You also love booze, don't you? It's a rowdy little group of white women right here. I can't stand rowdy white women. Because if the police come, who you think going to jail? Definitely won't be their ass. It'll be me and that other brother and this brother in the tie. That's it. And they still gonna be there loud as shit. Yay, marriage, yay! Take their black asses to jail, yay! And brother, when they come, don't say shit. We just gonna go peaceably. And baby, you take out your cell phone and record the whole damn thing. Just in case some bullshit break out. So everybody got their assignments. Me and you, we team shut the fuck up. And you team cinematography, okay? Don't. I'm Robert Hines. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, the Lockdown special was filmed at the Comedy Castle just outside of Detroit. I talk about how the people that were in jail were still human. They were still, cats from my neighborhood, dudes I knew, and how the juxtapose of what they trained me to do, of what was actually practical, and those things kind of weighed on me while I was there. And I just wanted everybody to understand that these are still people. Despite whatever fear you have, that doesn't make them any less human. And I just want to get across the point, most of all, that there is no such thing as disposable humanity. We're all a work in progress, and that there's redemption somewhere. You just got to get an effort to find it. Well, for most people I've known, if you ain't got no redemption, you probably ain't been around me too long, because I remove myself from problem situations.
Back in the house, you dig? You thought it was over? Nah, it ain't gonna never stop.
Talk to him, man.
Isola Man Media.
My energy is NFT.